Salutations, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I'm Grega, and today I cannot believe we're talking about this, but we're talking about Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. I cannot believe that a joke from Spaceballs is about to be a real thing in the not too distant future, but this thing evidently is in development. So here's the story. Spaceballs sequel in the works from Josh Gad, Mel Brooks at Amazon MGM. Oh joy. The shorts is with Amazon MGM Studios were a sequel to the 1980s parody film Spaceballs is in early development. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed Josh Gad and Mel Brooks are producing the project that has Gad attached to star. Josh Greenbaum is helming the comedy from a script by Gad, Benji Samit, and Dan Hernandez. Plot details for the sequel to the Star Wars spoofing comedy feature have not yet been shared. Kevin Salter will serve as executive producer on the new one. So I just wanted to make this video to join the chorus of people who have already chimed in to say that this movie shouldn't happen. There's no need for this. I mean, why make a Spaceballs sequel now? I mean, the obvious answer is, of course, money, and that is the answer to the obvious joke, which is Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. But aside from pure avarice, why make this movie now when so much of the original cast can't return for it? I mean, John Candy is dead. Joan Rivers, who voiced Dot, the C-3PO parody droid, she's dead. Rick Moranis, he's not dead, but he's been retired for a long time, and I doubt he's going to come out of retirement for this. And I don't really want to see a Spaceballs sequel without those people. And as for Mel Brooks, the writer, director, and one of the stars of the original Spaceballs movie, he's still alive, but he is in his late 90s. I mean, is he going to be alive by the time the cameras roll on this sequel? I certainly hope so, because it would be a real tragedy to lose a living legend like Mel Brooks. But you know, at that age, the older you get, the odds become less and less. And on the off chance that he passes away before this movie actually films, I don't want to see a Spaceballs sequel without Mel Brooks either. In a perfect world, a Spaceballs sequel made in the current year would take the piss out of Star Wars, very similar to the way the original took the piss out of Star Wars. But Star Wars now is very different from Star Wars in the 80s. Now it's Disney Star Wars, which is just a joke itself. And you know what? A Mel Brooks comedy that took the piss out of Disney Star Wars and just skewered it and how risible it's become, I would welcome that movie in a heartbeat, with or without the original Spaceballs cast, which it would have to be without the original Spaceballs cast at this point. And in that case, just don't call it Spaceballs 2, call it something else. But we're not getting the original cast, and it's not going to be that really cutting comedic film that this ought to be. And the reason why I know we are not getting that film is because of Josh Gad's involvement. Now, I don't know much about Josh Gad. I don't know how funny or unfunny the guy is. However, I do know the guy has worked a lot with Disney. I know he was the voice of Olaf in Frozen and Frozen 2, and I believe there's a Frozen 3 on the way that he's involved with. And on top of that, he was in that remake of Beauty and the Beast several years back, one of those really cynical, cash grabby live action Disney remakes that we're all just sick to death of. He was in that. So the guy has worked a lot with Disney. So I do not see this guy potentially souring his relationship with that company and possibly preventing future employment with Disney by taking the piss out of their mismanagement of Star Wars. I just do not see that happening. So since this movie is unlikely to be that really sharp, incisive comedy that takes aim at current day Star Wars, and since it's not going to feature a lot of the original cast, this movie just shouldn't happen. So that about wraps it up. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and leave a like and subscribe if you dig what you've seen today. I'm Grega, and you all look after yourselves. Cheers.